Medicare's annual election period ends on December 7th, and here to talk with us about that is Jae Oh, author of Maximize Your Medicare. Jay, what do folks need to know?
Well, December 7th is approaching faster than we can imagine, with Thanksgiving intervening in between. During this period, which ends on December 7th, you have the unrestricted right to change your Part D plan, which is standalone prescription plan, or you can also elect to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan. The selections are limited by your zip code of your permanent residence. So you'll want to check. And one thing to note is, even if you have a friend, a sibling who has the same plan with the same name in a different location, the benefits will not be precisely the same. Stuff to keep in mind as people try to navigate their way amongst the many options available.
So, a couple things come to mind. I was looking at some stats recently that showed that nearly 50% of Medicare beneficiaries are now enrolled in a Medicare Advantage plan. That was a bit surprising to me. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I think that these attributes to Medicare Advantage continue to ring true, which is that there is a convenience to Medicare Advantage because in most instances, it combines both your health benefits along with prescription drug benefits. And for many people at the price point where the premium can be $0, you do need to be enrolled in Part A and Part B. But in a day and age where inflation at 8%, basically this has turned out to be a large savings to those persons, especially those who do not use healthcare services very frequently or are not a very heavy user of prescription medications.
Right. And for folks who might be, they need to be aware of what the maximum out of pocket costs that come with Medicare Advantage plans.
You make a good point, Bob, which is that every Medicare Advantage plan must have an out of pocket maximum limit, which is part of the reason I wrote Maximize Your Medicare, because the federal card by itself is not a complete solution due to the fact that the federal card Part A and Part B do not include an out of pocket limit, whereas all Medicare Advantage plans do. For Medigap persons, this term is actually now quite obsolete because the reality is that in most instances, your out of pocket costs are limited to the Part B deductible only.
Mm. So for many folks, this becomes a financial decision whether to go with original Medicare and Medigap versus Medicare Advantage with the maximum out of pocket. Any guidance in terms of how people might go about making that decision?
Well, of course, it's a complicated choice. The fact of the matter is that Medigap continues to be an outstanding financial contract itself. The parts do not move. No one can eject you. The only person that can cancel is you. Medicare Advantage has a lower cost on a monthly basis, but please understand that if you do require healthcare services, you can expect itemized bills. And sometimes, depending on your situation, the itemized bills in a given year can exceed Medigap premium. That is entirely the case.
All right. So as usual, we've covered a lot of ground, but anything we missed or anything that just bears reemphasizing, Jay?
For now, what people can know is that Medicare.gov, which is the Medicare Plan Finder, it's a tool that I've shown how to use, is that in most instances, insulin is actually not correctly calculated and displayed on Medicare.gov. Therefore, further investigation is going to be required. And I'm going to be biased here. Of course, we're a broker to those persons on a nationwide basis, but having guidance can be helpful in that instance.
Right. And speaking of guidance, in our videos, we certainly give a cursory look at some of the things that people need to think about. You're also doing a deep dive on a subscription basis as well. Tell us more about that before we wrap up.
Sure. So I have a newsletter. It's on the Substack platform. It's JO, first and last name, .substack.com, with updates about a number of different financial topics, financial planning, and of course, healthcare cost planning be a very important component. And then, of course, there is a paid version where there's extra insight, things that I'm not able to share in public, not even with you, Bob.
Well, Jay, as always, we're grateful for the opportunity for you to share your knowledge and wisdom with us. It's greatly appreciated, all that you can share.
Privileged to be with you as always, Bob.